Hi everyone, Adam here, and this is my response to the horror movie sequel Tag, created by Movie Review Time, and I was tagged by Brad. Bronco Juggalo Talks Movies is his channel. Okay, so I'll leave a link to Movie Review Time and Brad's channel. So thanks for tagging me, Brad, and here we go. Okay, so you'll have to forgive me, I'm kind of multitasking. I'm looking at the questions on the tablet, and I've got a notebook here, so sorry if I look down too much. Okay, the first question, what is your favourite horror sequel? This was a hard one, and I don't know if it really counts, but I'm putting Aliens, even though some people would consider it a sci-fi action. There are still horror elements to it, so yeah. And I really had a tough time thinking of anything else. Question 2, what is the worst horror sequel? Without a doubt, probably one of the worst horror sequels I've ever seen, and there are some bad ones. I mean, Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 is bad, but kind of funny. It's not meant to be, but it is. But I picked The Exorcist 2, which tried something completely different. Just wasn't good. I tried to make it a bit more mythical, I think is the word I'm looking for. With a bit more, I don't know. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Richard Burton is drunk throughout the whole of that movie. I could be wrong, but he seems drunk. And what horror sequel is the most underrated in your opinion? Well, this is going to be interesting. The Exorcist 3. It's way better than 2. Of course, not as good as the original. There's some pretty good performances. I mean, you've got Brad Dourif yelling, which is one of the best things ever. George C. Scott, who's really good in this. And some pretty good direction by William Peter Blatty. I mean, you can watch the first Exorcist, skip the second one and go into the third one because it is the official sequel. Although it has kind of garnered a bit more popularity over the years, so yeah. The next question is, what horror sequel is the most overrated in your opinion? It's one a lot of people dislike, but now a lot of people give it praise. Halloween 3. I don't get it. That movie leaves me scratching my head. And I'm still wondering what happened to Ellie. Was she turned into a robot? Was she killed and then somebody made a robot out of her? These are the type of things that keep me up at night. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, look, I'll give them credit for the filmmakers trying to do something different with the franchise. But yeah, look, I just don't get it. Even if it does have the best mustache in movies with Tom Atkins. Yeah. And the next question is, what is the best death scene in a horror sequel? I've always liked Jason's death in the final chapter when Tommy hits it, falls to the floor, and he slides down the machete. I just think it's just such a cool looking effect, and it still looks pretty cool today. So that's for my favourite death scene in a horror sequel. What horror sequel had the best gore effects? I know a lot of people don't like this movie, but you can't admit that the gore effects in Jason Goes to Hell are pretty impressive. You know, like the tent scene and I can't remember his name, the policeman melting and his jaw sticks to the floor. Yeah, and there's so many other scenes that, okay, it's not the best Friday the 13th and some consider it the worst, but still, the gore is a standout. What horror sequel did you used to hate but now you love? It's Friday the 13th Part 3. Yeah, I used to find it boring. I thought it was slow moving. I didn't think it was that good with the gore effects. But over the years, I've come to appreciate it a lot more. I really do enjoy it. I used to outright hate it, but it's actually become one of my favourite entries in the franchise. So yeah. So to answer that one, Friday the 13th Part 3. The question is, what horror sequel did you used to love but now you hate? Look, honestly, I used to really enjoy Poltergeist 2, but I watched it not that long ago and it's pretty bad. Although I got to admit, the actor who plays Kane, was it Julian Beck? Does a good job, but it is kind of silly and looks like some of the special effects, especially near the end, haven't been completed. It was always going to be hard to live up to the original, so yeah, it's like I said, I hadn't watched it in years, and then I watched it not that long ago, and yeah, I mean it's not as bad as Part 3, but still not that good. And what horror sequel had the best ending? I know a couple of people have said this, and I 100% agree. Halloween H2O had the perfect ending to the franchise. And in a way, I would have been fine if that was the end of the franchise. But, as we all know, it wasn't. They decided to give us Halloween Resurrection, which, speaking of sequels, is, in my opinion, one of the worst in the Halloween franchise. Yeah, and the whole excuse as to why it wasn't Michael, it's one of the worst retcons in movie history, I think. Oh, it wasn't him, it was some security guard and Michael Myers switched places with. I know we're supposed to suspend disbelief in a movie, but, come on, that was, even for a horror film, that was ridiculous. So yeah, like a couple of other people said, Halloween H2O, perfect ending. Okay, that's all the questions, so thank you, Brad, for tagging me. I know it took a while to do this, but it's just been busy, and I really had to think about this. This was harder than I thought. So I'm going to leave the tag open. I think most people I deal with have pretty much done it or have been tagged. But if you haven't, feel free to do it. Yeah, okay, so there are my answers. Okay, so thanks, Brad, for tagging me. Okay, so like, comment, subscribe. I'm Adam, and I'll see you again soon.